So here we have our HTML and CSS video. Firstly, this is our basic file. If you click run, there's nothing showing up because there is nothing there so far. So firstly, we can try adding a div. A div is kind of like a squirrel's acorn hole, storing all their acorns. You can change the dimensions, the shape, what's inside it, and so much more about this hole. So to add a div, you start off by typing the opening div tag and typing anything you want inside it. I am a div, for example. And then let's close the div tag by /div. And that is going to be your div. So if you click run, you will see I am a div. Now there are other tags that we can use, for example, an h1 and an h2 tag. Let's try adding an h1 and h2 tag. So within the h1 tag, it's pretty similar. You type it the h1 tag, and let's call this flashcards, and then close the h1 tag. If we run this, we can see that it's going to be bigger. Now let's try adding an h2 tag. Let's see what it looks like. Same thing, h2 this time, sorry. Let's type our names by Selena and Spencer. And then close the h2 tag. And let's run this again. As you can see, we have the h1 tag that's really big, h2 that's slightly smaller, and then the standard text within a div that's the smallest. Okay, so now we have a header, a subtitle, and also some body text. However, I feel that this looks really ugly, this plain text, so let's try by adding some decoration. And this is where the CSS kicks in. So within the style tags, this is going to be CSS as we specified here. CSS goes here. Let's try by modifying the background colors first. So if we do this and then type background-color, let's set it as, for example, sandy brown. And then if we run it, the background color will be sandy brown. Now we can also do other things such as using a hexadecimal. So if we go to a tool called web color picker, web color picker, and then we can pick a value, a color that you like. So for example, let's try a shade of blue, like a light blue, a cool gray, light blue kind of color. I like this color, so we can copy this hex code and then go over here, paste the hex code, and then if we run it, the background color will be the same as what we picked over here. If you're not satisfied with just a plain color, you can even add an image into your background. So for example, let's go to Google and find like a picture of an acorn. So acorn, and then let's go to images. If you find a picture of an acorn that you like, for example, this one, let's copy the image address. Make sure you copy the image address and not the image itself or the image link address. Copy the image address. And then once you have the image address, let's go back to Revelit. And instead of background color, we can set the background to be background URL, and then paste the image URL that you just copied over here within the URL and the parentheses. So now let's run this, and your background will be this, the pictures of the acorns that you just copied over. Okay, so now we have our background that looks pretty nice. We can try editing the text as well. So the text font right now is in Times New Roman, which is the default font, and personally I'm not a big fan of this font. So let's try adding some other fonts. Let's go to a tool called Google Fonts. Oops, sorry, I typed it wrong, but Google Fonts. And the first one I see here is Roboto. I think it looks pretty nice. So let's try copying one of these fonts. Let's select any of these. I would select Light 300. You can use whatever you want. And then to use on the web, let's copy this over here. As it tells you, copy the code into the head of your HTML. So let's copy this, and then let's go back to Replit, and let's copy it into the head of our HTML. So underneath, paste. Okay, let's fix up the formatting a bit so it looks nicer. Cool. Okay, so the formatting honestly doesn't matter with the tabs, but it's just for visual purposes. So now that we have this imported, we can use it now. So let's try editing H2. So let's change H2 to Roboto instead of Times New Roman. So to edit H2, you type H2 and then open and close brackets. You type font-family to edit the font. And let's use Roboto. Roboto. Close the quotes. And then comma, sans-serif to make it sans serif in case Roboto doesn't load. Now let's run it. So as you can see, H2, this text over here, this font changed to Roboto, and that is pretty cool.